I'm so sick of modern PC case designs. They've just gone stale and boring for me. I mean, look at so many other cases these days. They're just steel cases with tempered glass on the side, mesh on the front, and way too much RGB. So Fractal Design basically came along and was like, okay, why don't we build a PC case that's like other PC cases, but instead of using the same materials, we switch it up a bit. And that's how they ended up with this, the Fractal Design North. And I'm gonna be honest, I really like it. Let's start with the design, which is the main draw of this PC case. It's super chic, super stylish, and full of reserved class. A rarity in PC cases these days. Love how this looks. It's clean, it's simple, and it's kind of just what Fractal Design does best. Simple, basic design that has charm and character. The front grille, instead of being plastic or metal or RGB slats, is wood. It's this walnut finish, and I think it's a slightly different wood finish if you go for the white PC case version of this. I absolutely love how it looks. And considering that a PC case is literally a piece of furniture, it's a big box in your setup, it kind of needs to blend in with your home decor. With this walnut finish, not only does it look clean and classy and reserved with style, it also could blend in with your setup a lot more. Just like it's blending in with my walnut covered desk right here. It's brilliant. For someone who is trying to build a PC for a mature looking house or a mature looking setup, or maybe an office or studio, or maybe just a work from home place, this case is going to look way better than 95% of the PC cases available out there because it uses this kind of chic steampunk aesthetic. Please, I beg of you, if you build in this case, don't put RGB in it. You will ruin this beautiful wood front. It's so beautiful and so unique that Fractal Design didn't even bother to put a logo on the front, but these modern organic accent materials kind of continue throughout the rest of the case. So the top power button switch here is brass finish. Maybe it's not real brass, maybe it's just brass colored, but the champagne color just contrasts with the steel case perfectly, just like the wood, and it really matches the accent brown very nicely. In fact, the pull tab for this top mesh cover here is this dark brown leather, which really completes the steampunk trifecta of materials that you find: brass, leather, and wood, which is I love these three materials. You could call me an old man, really. Anyway, all that combines to create a very nice contrast, a very nice look that is both unique and eye-catching, but at the same time still mature and refined. But all that good design would be pointless if it wasn't actually a good PC case. Build quality-wise, it might not be as good as like the Define 7 series of cases. Like the panels are a little bit lighter and not as sturdy, but it's still got the same Fractal Design kind of build quality, overall like sturdiness to it for the price. As for features, well, you've got fan filtration for sure for your power supply. This front here pops off and you can actually remove a clipped on fan filter and clean it separately so you can make sure dust doesn't enter your system. In terms of fan support, the top here can support up to 240mm fans or a 240mm radiator. The back can support a 120mm radiator or fan, and the front can support up to a 360mm radiator or 280mm radiator. Though it already comes included with 240mm Fractal Design torrent fans, if I'm not wrong. I mean, after all, this is quite a high airflow case, so you don't really need to be adding too many fans of your own. Those two 140mm fans should provide enough airflow to keep your PC cool. As this is a standard full-size ATX case, you've got 7 PCIe slots. Now, most people don't use that many PCIe slots these days, especially since most of these slots these days are taken up by M.2 drives and stuff like that. Well, if you have got a bunch of extra slots, Fractal Design actually has a solution for you. If your 4 bottom slots are unused, you can actually mount a 18mm fan there to add extra exhaust or extra intake if you're worried about cooling for your GPU. Just like most standard ATX cases these days, it's, well, got a standard layout, which means a power supply shroud in the bottom for hiding your cables, your power supply, and mounting 2 3.5-inch hard drives. There's a third mounting spot, but it does not come with mounting hardware for the third drive. You have to buy that on your own. You can mount a 2.5-inch SSD in those 3.5-inch drive bays, or you can mount it to the back of the motherboard tray. Cable management is also extremely easy on this PC case. All the front panel connectors are pre-arranged and pre-sorted out, very neatly labeled and very easy to deal with. There's pre-installed kind of Velcro cable ties on the back of the motherboard tray, plenty of places to tie cables down to, push ties included inside the bag, and all the screws that you need as well if you're wondering about the accessories. There's a lot of space between the motherboard tray and the back panel, especially since this back panel doesn't have any sort of sound dampening material. And the overall build experience of this PC case is very straightforward and very very, very simple. Just like basically every Fractal Design case, it comes with one of the best manuals you ever find in any PC case. Keep this up, by the way, Fractal Design. I love this manual. I love your manuals. And overall, it's just very straightforward. There are very few variations in the screws, and it's all very neatly labeled and very neatly arranged and shown in the manual, which is great. Oh, and if you're wondering, yes, it is an elevated PC case with very tall feet on the bottom. If you're putting it on a hard solid floor, you should have no problems with airflow into your power supply. Although, because there's perforations in the power supply shroud, you can actually have your power supply intake air from inside the PC case so that, you don't have to worry about carpets in that, which is nice. But there are one or two issues here and there. For one is the fact that the PCIe slot mounting screws are on the inside of the case, so they're really hard to reach when you put in a big fat GPU like a 4080 or a 4090, which this supports, by the way. It supports up to a 355mm GPU and up to a 145mm tall CPU towel cooler. Another issue I have with this PC case is the fact that because it has kind of this front support brace here that doesn't really come off unless you unscrew a bunch of things, it's a bit hard to access things in the front. Maybe if you're trying to mount a radiator, it's a bit of a hassle because of this little panel here that doesn't come off easily. In conclusion then, should you buy the Fractal Design knob? Well, for the price, it's definitely a competitive PC case. It gets all the fundamentals down perfectly. The question really is, do you like the looks? I know a lot of people won't like these wood accents, this steampunk aesthetic, and this chic design. I absolutely adore it. I absolutely love it. I love the class it has, but you might not. If you want a more traditional looking PC case, you probably want to be looking at things like the 4000D or the Meshify. If you're looking for something that is more mature, more refined, more subtle, with more finesse, or maybe a more serious environment like an office, a studio, or maybe a home office, then the Fractal North is truly a great option. Honestly, I can envision many of these PC cases being used in places like animation or design studios, where they need something that looks classy and fits the vibe of a modern design studio, that can handle all the hardware that you need for difficult to run design software, that need like big fat GPUs and powerful CPUs. So essentially then, if you love the design, go for it. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe because I'll be trying to do daily uploads. I've been trying to do daily uploads, but struggling a little bit, but we'll work on it.